Ever since I've switched to Schaefer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaefer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaefer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaefer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
Well, hello and welcome to Race First coverage of the Revolution Indy League, Schaefer's IndyCar series. This is going to be a first here for everybody. We're running a fantasy track for the first time on Race First. This is the iRacing Superspeedway, also called the store brand Cola Speedway, also known as previously incarnation of the Coca-Cola Superspeedway. And currently we are in qualifying, and I am joined, this is Matt Houston. I haven't been broadcasting here for a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks really, joined by Stephen Larkamp. How's it going, Stephen?
Doing pretty good, and we're ready for some excitement once again here in the Schaefer's IndyCar series. We've been having a good few races the last little while, a lot of excitement, maybe a bit more drama than we would have wanted to see, but if you want a track that is not not really known for drama, you've come to the wrong place. iRacing Superspeedway is an incredible facility, supposedly located in Concord, Massachusetts, of all places. This 3-mile superspeedway in every sense of the word. A lot of people would commonly say this is Talladega on steroids, and you'd be inclined to see why. It's basically a track where you don't lift at all. You're going flat out all the way around, and the speeds here have been incredible. In practice, fastest lap of the practice session, I should say, was set by Nate Schaeffer, 42.941 seconds. Translation into speed, that is an average speed of 251 miles per hour. The speeds here are intense. The pack racing is shown to be really a major factor here tonight. Slingshots are going to be all over the place. I think for this 75 lap event, we are in for quite a show.
Yeah, so this might be only a 75 lap event. Pit stops are going to be about 18 to 20 laps, depending on, fuel saving, that kind of thing. But we're going to be looking at 5 wide racing here at times. We're looking like we're going to be starting about a little over 30 plus. We're not going to have bumping here tonight. We're not quite to that 36 car, but I think this will be a good field. A lot of strong drivers out here. And they're going to have to just keep calm, though, for this 75 laps. 3-mile track, and you mentioned something about Concord, Massachusetts. You won't find this on Google Maps, though, will you, Stephen?
Absolutely not. This track is firmly in the fantasy zone. This was a track that was originally created for NASCAR Racing 2003 season, and it became a fan favorite of it. It was sponsored by a certain massive soda conglomerate that we all know and love. But nowadays it has moved on to the iRacing service. It's back to its former glory. Mostly it was seen as a fun place to race NASCAR equipment, and of course the pack racing here is as intense as it ever is at Daytona and Talladega, except the banking is a lot bigger, and the margin for error, if there ever was one at Daytona or Talladega, may well be a lot smaller. But with qualifying over, we are about ready to get things rolling, looks like.
Yeah, we can run through the grid, and I see that my grid is already messed up, so I'll let you start that, Steven, while I get this reset, and we'll go from there.
Well, taking the pole position is the defending series champion, Dakota DeMague, in the number 1 machine. Alongside him, the 317 of Alex Van de Sant, who's been mad fast for the last few weeks, had some unfortunate incidents in Long Beach, and had a good run going at Phoenix, finished second there. Alongside, in row number 2 will be the winner at Phoenix, Gavin Sanders in the number 10, alongside Matthew Short in the number 35. Lewis Woodall in the 13 will start 5th alongside Shane Coogan's number 29. Will Weisbrot III, World War III, starts 7th in his number 60 alongside the 12 of Justin Miller. Hayden Herman in the 77 is 9th, and rounding out the top 10, the 57 of Peter Donchak. Row 6 will be Neil Lusher in the 808 alongside the 30 of Michael Henkamp. JJ Wang in the 00 starts 13th alongside Nate Stiefker in the number 2 and 14th. James Watson will be 15th alongside Jonathan Liberatore, numbers 39 and 42 respectively. Christopher Hill in the 101 had a good showing at Long Beach, even through dramas, and he will start 17th alongside the 64 of Michael Holler. Christian Jasper in the 44 starts alongside the winner at Long Beach, the 82 of Nicholas Johnston. He's got some work to do to make his way up to the pack. Bruno Miranda, the fastest guy at Long Beach before, let's say something he did got the better of him, starts 21st alongside Rhett Nichols, numbers 119 and 55 respectively. Nicholas Isidro in the 424 starts 23rd alongside Joshua Tucker in the 112. One of our regular broadcasters, my good friend Gary Godso, starts his number 6 machine in 25th alongside Cody Claiborne in the 331 in 26th. Chad Knob and Caleb Bensi in the 7 number 70 and number 21 starts 27th and 28th. And the final row of the grid, Christopher Kresge and Joseph DeCiro. And now we're underway behind the pace car. And I gotta say, folks, get ready for some action. This is going to be one heck of a show, I think.
Hey, and a quick shout out. I have a birthday shout out I'm supposed to give here. Friend, or the admin of the series, Christopher Kresge, said to give a shout out to Caden. Happy birthday to Caden at the start of this race here. So have a good birthday. Hope you got some great gifts. You know, I don't know what the kids get these days, but have a great birthday, Caden.
Happy birthday, Caden, and hopefully we'll give you a present of a fun race to watch as we're getting ready to get things going. Dakota DeMague waiting behind the pace cars.
By Caleb Bensi doing the no-qual strategy.
Indeed, starting in 28th, that could well be viable given what is possible here. As the pace car peels off, Dakota DeMague holding them back, waiting to get going on his terms. Green flag flies. We are underway at the iRacing Superspeedway.
And we'll see how long it takes until we get 5 wide racing here.
Probably won't be too long, I would wager, as Gavin Sanders tucks in behind Dakota DeMague on the low line there. Van de Sant having to work that top line there. There is a gap right there. He'll be able to slide right in there. Or not, actually. He's under pressure now from, I believe, that's the 13 of Lewis Woodall, who is already starting to make moves. But now, 3 wide for the race lead. Dakota DeMague, and looking up on the top line, I'm trying to pick out Will Weisbrod from 7th to the lead.
Will he lead this?
Will he lead this first lap? Is it going to be Weisbrod or DeMague? It is going to be Dakota DeMague that holds that spot. But Will Weisbrod III, a fantastic start for World War III.
Yeah,
meanwhile, alongside him, Gavin Sanders up on the top side there. Lewis Woodall. He has to, and you got to be a bit, he's trying to be generous with the space he's given to people, it seems, but he is losing track position at the moment. That's kind of the balance you got to play here at iRacing Superspeedway. It's unforgiving of errors of any sort.
Yeah, so we're about 2 by 2, 3 wide, probably for about 7th position or so. Multiple cars 3 wide back there. Hanging out at the back is Neil Lusher, Caleb Bensi. They've just kind of single file waiting for something to happen up ahead.
I would imagine if I were in their position, I would be... One thing I'd be doing is trying to save fuel, maybe running in a different fuel map setting from map 1 that we would normally do. And running in the slipstream of the cars behind does save you fuel, and of course running in a different fuel map setting helps that cause. So that could well be what they're banking on.
In fact, Caleb has actually dropped back 15 seconds. This is about a 42, 43 second lap. Well, actually, last lap, 44 seconds by these leaders. I don't know what happened, but he just is totally deciding to hang back completely. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Looking back at it, I think he actually started from pit road.
Okay.
So that's taking the starting in the back to its logical extreme, I would think.
Well, Gary would know about this, but over in the Velocity Online Racing Series, we literally, so that we ran Daytona, we didn't run this, but about half of the field, myself, Dakota, Gary included, we all started from the pits, so literally half the field started from the pits, and because of that, I think we had no cautions because of that. We had no cautions, we had 100% green flag. Christopher Kresge, the admin here, was the winner in that race, but we'll see what we can do here. Only 4 laps complete of 75, coming up to the 5th lap. We're waiting for that kind of big one to happen, the ominous big one that could happen.
It always seems to happen, too, that when you start from pit road, that strategy can often work against you if we do go caution-free. Hopefully, for Bensi's sake, he's hoping that's not happening. But Dakota DeMague, meanwhile, still holding the point there very strong. We actually saw Dakota race earlier this week on Race First in the Indy Fix series on the Monday Night Indy broadcast. He did a very good job. Whoa, that was Will Weisbrod trying to make it 4 wide with Nicholas Isidro. Talk about a power start. Nicholas Isidro, who started 23rd, he's already up to 3rd place.
So if if you want to get to the front, you can get there. Is basically what we're seeing with that. But yeah, some kind of shifty stuff happening up at the front of the field. A little bit of contact maybe between Holler and I'm not sure if that.
I believe that was James Watson up there. No, I don't think it was. But that was some close stuff there. Very close quarter stuff. And of course, you got to remember the speeds they're running at here. Right now, they are going at around 240 miles an hour. And of course, those even faster laps in the 250 range, which we'll probably see, those will likely come from guys that are running entirely in the pack. They are running entirely in the draft. That's the way that you are going to be the fastest here. Of course, it's a good way to gain track position. The question will always be, can you keep it? And that's hard to do here.
That's right, and just keeping an eye on that Caleb strategy at the back. He is losing ground. It was 15 seconds. It is now 20 seconds that he is behind Neil Lusher in 26th position. Looks like we had a few cars not start the race, because we had about 30. I know Kresge wasn't going to start. There are a couple others in the back there.
And I see Henkamp and DeCiro have not started as well.
Okay, there you go. Starting Parkers, I guess.
Yeah. We even have them here.
Yes,
but,
we do.
But now Dakota DeMague and Will Weisbrod. Weisbrod led that last lap. We're working lap number 8 as Weisbrod looking to get clear. He's not quite clear yet. 3 wide for the lead. That's the 42 of Liberatore on the top side. Isidro trying to work the trap behind him. Isidro jumps out of line, trying to get the run and close up on the 3 leaders there. They're all running single file on that low line. Oh, and Liberatore trying to find room there. He's trying to get down as low as he can. And, Liberatore now with the launch, trying to get by Weisbrod. Dakota DeMague has retaken the point, but look at the launch right here from Isidro. This is quite a launch right here. He's actually led that last lap.
I feel like what the guy on the outside needs to do, though, is he needs to get enough of a slingshot to get around Dakota and then take over, pull it down to the inside ahead of Dakota. Otherwise, Dakota's just going to come back each time holding that white line, or that yellow line in this case. Kind of the old IRL line around this track.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. That bottom groove there, if you are the leader, you're not getting all the momentum that the guys behind you are. But once the guy in front does get that momentum, he's got all the air in front of him that Dakota DeMag would, and therefore he loses all that momentum. Meanwhile, I'm looking at Isidro and the 55 of Rhett Nichols on the low line, the 64 of Michael Holler up on the top side, making a big move, making it 3 wide for third place. Not quite doing it there. He has to get back in line as well.
See, Pete Donchak having a good run here today. Pete is one of the members of the RIL Illuminati. Just FYI there, Steven. Yeah, but having a heck of a run. He's got a pretty awesome looking paint. I'm on board with him right now. I can't even describe what's going on with this paint, but it looks pretty cool.
Certainly does look very, very cool. And hopefully he can get that, make that nice looking paint scheme, get a good result. And he's certainly on that right now. He started 10th, currently still in the middle of the top 10 right now. He's registered in P7 on that last lap. Meanwhile, there's contact right there. That was Liberatore and
Polar, I think.
And Michael Holler.
Yeah. Whoa, that was
Holler on the radio saying he didn't hear a spotter call inside. There may have been a little technical glitch there, but Holler has now got a head of steam trying to shoot past all these guys up to the pack. But once again, as we'll quickly see here, as he's side by side with Nicholas Isidro, he is going to lose that momentum. And for keeping momentum, the bottom lane is certainly where you want to be. You are going to have to get as big a shot as you possibly can down the straight to blow by the leader and then clear him before you get to the corner to hold on to it.
Yeah, I think there's some movement there with Jonathan.
Looks like Joshua Tucker got an awesome launch there. Liberatore also, he lost a position in the shuffle there. He's down to 4th. Yeah, he is coming back though.
Red Nichols moving up here. He's in one of the anime. I believe that's the anime waifu car there. Dakota DeMay made that one. So, but yeah, that's what's going on there.
One for the weebs out there.
That's right. We have a few in the field, and we've got a few liveries for it. So representing, I suppose.
Yep, we got fans of all stripes, and we love them all. There's Rhett Nichols looking to make the anime community proud there. He's running solid so far. Started 22nd, already up to 5th. So like Isidro, he has had a fantastic start so far. Working lap number 13, coming to 14 at the end of this one, and coming to 14, coming off of turn number 4 here. So we're getting close to the point, like you mentioned, that we are going to have to start preparing for our first pit stop.
Yeah, so we're looking between, I think the leaders might be lap 18. This was like Dakota might be coming in lap 18. Behind him, though, could be 19 or 20. So we're looking about 3 pit stops here tonight.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, with Dakota DeMag basically running windbreaker for everybody in front of him, he's burning up more fuel than the guys behind him who are able to just be content, just lift off the throttle a little bit, don't run into the back of him, of course, and save a little bit of fuel, maybe even get an extra lap out of it.
Yeah, so this is going to be really tricky. I think this is where the race, if it goes green, this is where the race is going to be made or, make or break, is through the pit stop cycle. Getting a speeding penalty, for instance, that's a 40-second penalty. You're dead after that. But also, you can lock up the brakes real bad. You could lose the rear. So there's going to be all kinds of things happening. And there's going to be other cars around making the pit stop at the same time other cars are making it. So it's going to be chaos once that comes down about 3 or 4 laps.
Certainly will be. And of course, one other thing to consider here is the pit entrance here at the iRacing Superspeedway. It may not look like too much of an issue. Kind of looks like the pit entrance we'd have at a track like, say, Pocono Raceway, one of my personal favorites. But the pit entrance here you got to remember the speeds they're going at. And I've mentioned this before about Daytona Superspeedway. Imagine coming onto pit road in a NASCAR stock car. They're doing 190 miles an hour at Daytona there. In the Indy cars, you're doing 240. It's the same here, and the pit entrance is always tricky when they're doing that. You got to be very careful with how you come on the pit road and not lose any time in the process. It's a very fine line to balance. But meanwhile, looks like everybody has gotten themselves into order here. People starting to realize that maybe we won't be too much of a caution fest here. We'll be able to get things going in good order as Dakota DeMay continues to lead. Will Rice brought second. Nicholas Isidro, Rhett Nichols, and Jonathan Liberatore are your top 5 on lap number 17 out of 75.
Yeah, we're about to come up with that pit stop here. We're going to be keeping an eye on Dakota. I think he'll do at least one more lap.
Very likely, I would imagine, especially since he's frankly in the worst position fuel mileage-wise, even though if it is the best position track position-wise for more reasons than the obvious. But Dakota DeMay, the pole sitter who has led the majority of the laps so far tonight, really just wants to make this a clinical one.
Looks like we're kind of going a little bit single file here at the moment as everybody starts to prepare for these pit stops. And the person that's the worst for is Caleb there in the back, because he's kind of relying on a caution happening. And if these guys are smart ahead of him, that might not be coming.
It would be very unfortunate for Caleb Bensi in that case. It's the strategy that has a lot of ooh, that was close there. Liberatore trying to get himself back in the line there. It looked like he had a run on Rhett Nichols in front of him, and now he's had to drop back a spot. He's lost a position to Lewis Woodles, number 13 machine, dropped down to P6. So Liberatore with a bit of a close call there. Gets it clean though. But Dakota, he is working lap 19, has yet to come in.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. I was just going on some driver-provided information on the lap count for pitting, but we'll see. Might be coming down this time. I don't know if you can hear his radio. We don't have that on the broadcast side of things, but maybe you'll hear something on your side.
I'm hearing Rhett Nichols saying something, potentially about a pit stop. So the number 55 machine currently in 4th place. No, not
Dakota
quite yet.
out.
They're not coming down yet. They are staying out. Lap number 20. So Dakota seems to be making some pretty good fuel mileage so far.
Yeah, even with the leading the pack up here. So everybody behind him is going to make even better fuel mileage.
Yeah, and especially since getting to lap 25 will be the point where you can certainly make it on a 2-stop race.
That is quite true. 2 stops, yeah, that's a pretty big game changer if that's the case.
It would be, especially if, 5 laps over 3 miles, that's 15 extra miles you got to go. It's a bit of an ask, but if it is possible for some of them, that could well be a game changer for the strategy tonight.
I see some of our cars that were just sitting in the back for the longest time have just made it through the field. Gary Gotso making some big moves. Literally went up from about 20th position to 10th in a matter of a lap with that last one. As we come up to these pit stops, I think is what's happening.
Well done to Gary, one of the regular commentators over here at Raceverse. Taking the chance to actually make the appearance on the broadcast in a race car this time, not here in the booth. And he's certainly making the most of it, it seems. But keeping an eye once more on the leaders as we end lap 21. And again, Dakota, I'd still think it's going to be, I think it could be pretty close, as getting an extra lap of fuel mileage is certainly a big gain for you in any case, no matter what situation it may be. But with the strategy so dependent on what lap you come in this case, especially with the scenario we're seeing, I think either Dakota is really stressed out about it or he's really comfortable right now.
Those are kind of polar opposites, but we'll see No, this is way...
Dakota is pitting. He's pitting this lap on lap 22.
So the dominoes are starting to fall.
Here comes the number 1. Our pole sitter, defending series champion, Dakota DeMeg. Hits the pit lane. Bit of a lockup on the left front. Nothing too serious right now as Will Weisbrod assumes the lead.
And Isidro actually takes over the lead. We've got Rhett Nichols also moving up around Weisbrod. Dakota still on the pit lane. Just came to his box.
And now, just as we say that everyone's gotten themselves into order, we're going 3 wide once more, and Gary Godso's in the middle of it.
Gary running that Schaefer's oil livery, custom made there for the series, representing them.
Dakota DeMeg, by the way, he is leaving pit road right now. He's on the apron in 1 and 2.
Caleb
of course, has to stay down there.
On pit lane. Now he does not want a caution, I don't think, because he's about to go a lap down, I think.
Very much so.
Okay, what he's going to want to happen is for everybody to get through their pit cycle, and then maybe a caution to come out, because he's relying completely on a caution coming out at this point.
Right. We're working lap 25 right now for the leaders. So this is going to be the point where these guys will be able to make it on a 2-stop strategy if they keep things going the way they have.
And Dakota's currently all by himself about, what is this, about, I don't know, 5-10 seconds ahead of that lead pack. Maybe even less than that. They might run him down.
And they are charging up to the rear of him to put him a lap down really quickly. As side by side for the lead between Nicholas Isidro and Nicholas Johnston in the 20 as more drivers are coming in.
Oh boy.
Isidro, Rhett Nichols, Weisbrod.
Ooh, somebody's coming in really hot back there. I think it was Cody, maybe. Not 100% sure who that was, but they seem to sort themselves out. Nicholas Johnston takes over the lead with Gavin Sanders in P2.
Everybody finding their pit boxes. Isidro and Nichols right next to each other, no less. Off the jacks, which one gets away first? And looks like Nichols has actually jumped Isidro. And they've gotten ahead of Weisbrod as well.
Shane Coogan, who was kind of hanging out at the back this entire race, he now takes over that 3rd position. He was probably sitting around in fuel mode 3 or 4, something like that, saving as much fuel as he could.
Yep, certainly what you would want to do. Maybe take less fuel on the final pit stop, save some time on pit road. That may well be the game plan they're going for here as Nicholas Johnston maintains the lead as they're working their way around cars that are coming off of pit road.
Yeah,
so
Gary coming out of the pits there. He's a lap down, getting passed by the leaders.
We got more takers coming in as well on lap 27. Shane Coogan is one of them. Neil Lusher as well.
Shane got it locked up really late there. Should be good though. It looks okay. Alex Van de Sant now taking over the lead. Nicholas Johnston, Bruno Miranda moving into the 4th position, but there's a huge gap back to 4th for him. He's about 3.5 seconds behind.
Indeed, and it looks like the top 14 at this. Ooh, they almost go 4 wide there with 2 of the cars coming off of pit road. Very close stuff there. And Nicholas Johnston and Lewis Woodall are coming in as well.
Alex Van de Sant. Oh, he's still out. Never mind.
Van de Sant has stayed out. And funny thing about Van de Sant this whole time was that he started 2nd, of course, but then he just dropped back through the field, possibly trying to save fuel. Now we see him back up here. either part of strategy or just everyone scrambling for track position early on. But Van de Sant getting some bonus points for leading laps. But we still have these cars that are... We're still trying to cycle our way through the pit stop cycle here.
Looks like about...
And I would imagine...
Alex is the last car to not pit, so here he comes.
He's doing so now. Lap 29,
Whoa,
and
really
lap 29,
fast.
Van de Sant's coming in. He's coming in hot too.
Yeah, I do think he slowed it down, but I was
What?
for a moment there, I wasn't so sure about that.
We got problems for the 13 of Lewis Whittle. Oh,
Let's see.
he said over the radio he's got a blown motor.
Oh, this was actually one of the stories. Miranda also coming out of pits. Where is Woodall?
Bruno Miranda coming out, but Lewis Whittle seems to be out of the race right now. He is out of the race with a
yep, I
blown
see that.
engine.
Okay.
Van de Sant down and away, the last of the runners to come in. So this should begin to so everything should begin to cycle back out to the way we had it before. Have everyone bunched up again. But that's one topic that I don't normally see often in the IndyCar. But oh, and we have more. Nicholas Isidro has had a connection failure. He's out of the race too.
Wow. Well, things are happening here. What I was going to say is, so Dakota, who led the most laps in that first stint, he's coming out, has come out in ninth position. Now, you know, his motivation will probably be to just try to save fuel here for a while because he had to pit the earliest. He wants to get to that lap 50 now to kind of be on the same strategy as everybody else. Because if he had the same fuel burn he had that in, for the beginning part of the race, he'd have to do it on 3 stops rather than 2 like everybody else. And meanwhile, Alex Van de Sant, he has a 2.5 lead. So through this cycle, he has really gapped everybody else. So we'll see. You know, he's on his own. He doesn't have a drafting partner. We'll see what Johnston in second, if he can, you know, run him down. And I think there's a good chance he will. I asked the drivers before the race whether they were going to be, you know, faster on their own. And we saw that with Caleb Bensi. He was certainly slower by himself.
Very true. And the draft here is just such an important factor. Van de Sant now in kind of a similar position that Dakota DeMague was in earlier on, where he has the clear air in front of him, but he doesn't have the speed of the runners behind him as well, as Johnston has actually cut that lead down to 0.7 of a second.
There we go. He's got the draft then, yeah.
Yeah, and here they come once more. Nicholas Johnston in the 82. Will he look to take the lead? Yes, he does. He's looking down low. Van de Sant moves up high. This may well be something he's been looking for as well to try and save fuel for himself. Van de Sant is certainly in the best position fuel-wise in this race, but that doesn't mean that he won't be trying to save as much as he possibly can as they go 3 wide there. Nate Seeker on the bottom there with Will Weisbrod.
Yeah, a little bit of bobble there by one of those cars.
Very close stuff there. You gotta... This track may be very wide, but it doesn't feel like it in some ways, especially since the area where you have to run to be the fastest is kind of a narrow one.
So really we've got kind of 2 packs have developed here now, where we've got a group of cars like the top 9, and then there's a group from 10th to 18th. So we've really broken this up through that.
Yeah, we certainly have. And Jonathan Liberatore, who is leading that second pack down in 10th position, he's got to be seething right now at this turn of events. He's unfortunately lost the draft of the guys in front of him, and unless they start holding each other up or they really get the hammer down and turn up the wick a bit, it doesn't seem like they'll be able to catch them. In fact, they pulled out the gap over them to 6.1 seconds behind race leader, who is now Will Weisbrod III in the number 6.
One thing I should also note, I don't want to miss this, I see Michael Haller had a 50-second pit stop, so he might have had a speeding penalty on pit lane. So he is back out on the track now, so that is a tough pill to swallow, really, when you're Michael and you were up there with the top 5, top 10 at a point in that first stint. So tough break.
And And especially since he looks behind him and he sees that the leaders are about 12 seconds in arrears of him right now to possibly put him a lap down. So a very unfortunate turn of events for one of the fast guys tonight, Michael Haller. He'll be begging to the racing gods to bring him a caution. The same could be said for quite a few other guys. Caleb Bensey is among them.
Yes.
Actually, Haller has gone 2 laps down, so he will get the lucky dog. We have that in this series if we do get a caution, but it's still not going to be, it's still going to require another one to have any sort of hope to get back up to the...
I think that we're just, I don't want to jinx us here, but I feel like we're past this point where we're going to get a caution. I think all the drivers did a great job keeping this clean through that first stint and getting us through that. We had some close moments, that's for sure, but we might have dodged a bullet here. And the worst person in that respect is Caleb Bensey and anybody in that second group now, which starts with the 10th position, Gary Gotso. Although I feel like they might be gaining on that lead group.
Yeah, they are, it looks like. The gap is now 4.7 seconds between the leader of the pack, of that second pack, which is now the 35 of Matthew Short, with Gary Godso, Jonathan Liberatore, Joshua Tucker, Christopher Hill, Bruno Miranda. And the gap is closed up even more. It's now 3.88 seconds.
So they're closing fast.
They are closing. The leader, who is now the 10 of Gavin Sanders, his last lap was a 45.5. But meanwhile, Gary Godso, who is actually taking over the lead right now in that pack, his last lap was a 44.9. So this is certainly not over for the guys behind them. Just when they thought hope may have been lost, here it comes right back at them again.
Yeah, that would be good for them. I mean, I feel like they're swapping a little bit better than that lead group is kind of what I'm seeing here. Like they seem to really be pushing it.
Seems to me that the lead pack is barely swapping positions at all. They seem to be just created a train down there on the bottom line, except right now with Gavin Sanders running up top.
Running up at the top, just cruising there.
I believe Sanders is trying to get himself in line with the guys behind him to try and save a little bit of fuel, as now the 12 of Justin Miller goes down to the low side. He takes over the lead, and Sanders tucks in behind him. But here comes, there's Gary Godso right there in the sticks. He's up to third.
That is crazy how fast they caught up to the lead group. I thought they were toast.
Just when you thought they were toast, it turns out not quite yet. Still needs a little bit of time in the oven, perhaps, but a 43.9 was the last lap for Gary Godso, and it's put him up to 4th position at the stripe and 2nd place on the circuit at the moment as he's trying to clear Gavin Sanders. He has done so. He's tucked into P2.
Well, I think all of the warnings of these drivers just have kept it clean. Clean here today. Same thing happened over in VOR where we all were expecting a mess, and because of that, we kept it really clean over there.
Look at this, number 6, Gary Godso, the leader of the race right now at the end of lap 39. What a recovery thus far, not just from Gary Godso, but also from everyone else in the second pack. They have well and truly caught up to the lead, and right now, the first 18 cars in this race are within 2.5 seconds of each other. That's just how close this track can make the racing.
The kind of final car in this strategy is Neil Lusher, who did get an EOL at the start of this race for a little situation that happened at the start of that Long Beach race. You might have seen that, Stephen, last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so he's running there, and he's keeping it clean back there.
Very good job thus far from Neil Lusher, and especially since I'd imagine Lusher once again in a position to save fuel, especially since I'm sure he's figured out as well as everybody else that regardless of the track position you're in right now, you can make moves and get up there towards the end of this race. Gary Godso has certainly found that way out and found out that in the way that's certainly most enjoyable right now. He's enjoying the lead, but Will Weisbrod now looking to the outside.
Yeah, Gavin Sanders there in fourth. He's kind of where he wants to be now, saving that fuel after leading a few laps and, you know, burning a lot of fuel. He didn't want to be burning that fuel, though. But Gary is happy with being in the lead, I think.
3 wide for second place, maybe possibly 3 wide from the lead. Will Weisbrod and Joshua Tucker is the car up on the high side in that number 112 machine. He is clear down low right now, but Weisbrod still not giving in right now. He's side by side with Sanders, trying to get as much of a run as he can on Justin Miller now. He's going to have the momentum down the straight, but it's not going to be quite enough to get nose to nose with Godso. Not quite there yet. Weisbrod having to deal with the top line there. And here comes Sanders and Rhett Nichols once again looking to the low side.
I saw some drivers there kind of hitting the apron on the exit of turn 4. You got to be careful with that. These cars can get unsettled. So
very easily. And it's true at almost every other super speedway that if you hit the apron in an IndyCar, you're not going to have a fun time. And that is doubly true at a track like iRacing Superspeedway or any one of the big speedways like Daytona or Talladega. You touch the apron, generally, as we like to say, apron bad.
Yes, we do. Yes, that is the classic here. Just FYI, back in the pack, Caleb Bency has at least caught Cody Claiborne. I'm not sure who the other car is back there. Might be Chuck Knobb in 25th position. So at least there's a little group that he can work with at this point.
Yeah, Bency driving the race-verse entry. Shameless plug, perhaps. but Caleb Bency, who started from pit lane, perhaps not quite in as bad a position as he had feared at one point, but he is still, along with Cody Claiborne in that 331, he is still 26 seconds behind race leader. The best chance for him right now is if a caution were to come out. But right now, with the way things are going, the chance for that is seemingly dropping by the second here, even if we but of course, as the race goes, that was a close one right there with Peter Donchak nearly dooring. I believe that was Justin Miller, but he has gotten up alongside Weisbrod for second. But I can imagine once the final pit stop especially is done, these guys are going to go for it.
Yeah, I have to imagine Caleb back there is thinking, I hope somebody starts doing some bump drafting. I know Will Zeller, one of our quite often drivers, he would like to see some bump drafting in this race. Not in the rules, but you know, it could happen. So if that does happen, all bets are off.
Not normally desirable in an IndyCar either. But as sensitive as these cars, there was contact there. That was Justin Miller.
But
Peter Donchak came in and doored Justin Miller down the low line. They managed to get away with it somehow. An awesome save by Miller, but he is not happy right now. I'm hearing him over the radio. He is not at all pleased with the 57 for that maneuver.
Yeah, that was nearly, that was very similar. We almost had a caution in that first inning, so that was nearly having a crash there. So, but these drivers, as we get, you know, we're lap 46, we're going to be coming up on 47 of 75. These drivers are going to start getting a little bit more impatient as the lap count starts ticking down.
We're getting closer and closer to the point where if they come in after lap 50, they are certainly good to go. Yes. And of course, with Dakota DeMay pitting on lap 22, looking at him as the worst case scenario in that instance, he's down in 14th, I should note. Our pole sitter is well down there. Actually, I should note, even though you can't hear this, Matt, that even while they're racing at around 230, 240 miles an hour, they're having a little bit of an argument over that last incident right now.
Oh, I bet they are. Yeah, the chat, the voice chat these drivers can talk to each other gets a little spicy at times.
It certainly can.
Yes, it can. Particularly on the ovals, particularly in a pack race such as this. Again, you mentioned it, Gary Godso, he's looking to get to lap 50. That is the magic number. Certain. Yeah. That
is the magic number right now. Godso once again leading the pack here. An amazing drive for our old friend and my my co-commentator along on the Monday Night Indy broadcast, and here usually, but I'm loving the fact that he takes the time to leave the booth and get in the car, and he is putting on a show for us. Well done to him.
I got the chance to do it at Long Beach last week. You know, a little bit different style driving. I prefer the road street kind of stuff, but over there, I'm not leading any laps. But here comes Gary, though. Not a little too early.
Lap 48.
If he can get behind the pack, I think he can make it 27 laps, but he's going to have to be very patient to get that fuel number working.
Yes, it is definitely possible to get it there. We've seen Alex Van de Sant go to lap 29 on fuel. So it is certainly possible, but you are not going to want to be leading. As counterintuitive as that may sound to a lot of people, why would you not want to lead? You'd run out of fuel. But right now, the race lead on the last lap was with Gavin Sanders, but Will Weisbrod and James Watson now leading the way there in that number 39 machine. Haven't heard much from him all night, but doing a really good job so far.
Yeah, James Watson.
But look at Bruno Miranda around the top side to the lead. Beautifully done.
Wow, that came out of nowhere. James was thinking, I'm feeling pretty good up here in the lead, and then just a gigantic slingshot from Miranda.
What is it with this week producing results that come out of nowhere? Like on the Monday night broadcast, we had it with, and we had it in that race as well. You had a winner who you didn't see coming if you were paying any close attention to the beginning of that race. But now Bruno Miranda up to the lead. He started 21st, but now he has been passed by the 60 of Will Weisbrod for the point right now. And we're at the end of lap number 50. So this is around the point where everyone knows that they'll likely be safe. They can probably, and if they can go as long as they possibly can, they can certainly turn up the wick and go for it hard at the end of this race.
Yeah,
Will Weisbrod, by the way, he is coming in to the end of this lap. And Watson, too. So Weisbrod, Watson, and Rhett Nichols, they are reporting that they're coming on the pit road at the end of this lap. We're hearing over the radio.
It looks like Miranda can make his 22 laps on his stint, so he can make it several more laps, maybe 3 or 4 laps before he's going to have to pit. So we'll see. We saw that actually with Alex. He went long, and then he came out still in the lead, so we'll have to see how this goes.
Weisbrod, Watson, Nichols, whoa, that was
Nate Schaeffer having to. Oh, no, it wasn't Nate. Who was that? Might have been Donchak.
Yeah, I think it was Donchak.
Having to avoid.
Just comes in with a monster head of steam. Manages to get away with it, though. He may have got. Actually, he got a speeding penalty.
Did he?
He got a speeding penalty. I can see on the timing and scoring sheets. That last lap was not scheduled, so he has was not scored, so he has a penalty to deal with. Ooh. That will unfortunately probably be chances over for the 57 machine.
Yeah, he said. So Will Weisbrod. Well, Will had a long pit stop though. 16
Miranda
seconds.
is in, by the way. Bruno Miranda is on pit road. Oh, and Gavin Sanders comes with him. Almost a little bit of contact there as they slow themselves down to 65 miles an hour, which, compared to going 240, feels like absolute agony.
Yeah, it really does. We'll have to double check these numbers, but Weisbrod having a really long stop there. It said 16 seconds, so I don't know what happened there. That's about twice as long as a usual pit stop. That puts Nicholas Johnston back in the lead with Nate Schaeffer in second.
I see Schaeffer, Miller in third, Christopher Hill is fourth, and now they're actually coming down right now. Schaeffer, Miller, and Hill are all coming in. Johnston has stayed out. Weisbrod saying that it was a bad pit stop straight up there, and that has ruined his chances, it seems. So some very fast runners seeming to fall afoul. Whoa, as we have a car spun up pit road that's stuck now. He's actually reset himself now. And so it looks like he spun coming out of his pit stall. Very unfortunate moments there for the number 70. Probably lit up the tires a bit too hard. But keeping an eye once more, Alex Van de Sant over the radio saying he is coming in on this lap at the end of lap 54.
So he's only going to have, 20, 21 laps. They come down that pit lane so fast, but they all seem for the most part, to be able to slow it down.
Amazing, the kind of braking you get out of these cars. Of course, carbon ceramic brakes on these Dallara IR18s. And if you were to look at them, they would be, and look at the brakes themselves, they are glowing bright cherry red when they are coming down on the pit road. He is standing on that slowdown pedal, and it's amazing what these cars are able to do. Seeming like the laws of physics just doesn't matter to them at times.
I'm trying to find out who has the fastest lap of the race. I believe it is Nate Schaeffer. Let me see if I can find out a speed on that. I'm not sure if this is actually correct or not. I'll put this just in the lap. I see a 43.288. So well, that's our time. I'm not sure if my mile per hour laps are correct because they were not correct in practice. Yeah, I think it's at 43.288 is, and Schaeffer was the fastest in practice too, so it would make sense that he was the fastest in the race as well. But I don't know the mile per hour on that. So
Johnston meanwhile, still staying out right now
Johnston
on lap number 56, and now he's coming in, and I think that's
Coogan.
Coogan is coming in behind him as well.
Yeah, you always know it's Coogan. He's got that familiar, it's kind of an old school Chip Ganassi Target livery.
Yeah, kind of got that lightning bolt motif that the Target Chip Ganassi cars ran back in the late 90s and through the 2000s.
Yes. But this is like the earliest version of it. It's like a 94, 95 one that Jimmy Vassar and Brian Herta ran in, I believe, 94 and 95.
That is certainly a classic right there. As Van de Sant, keeping an eye on him, he's actually staying out for another lap. So actually, at the end of lap 57.
I've got Van de Sant. He pit. I think everybody.
Oh yeah, he did pit.
Yeah, he did pit. So
Johnston and Coogan. Johnston had a fantastic pit stop. It looks like he is going to be coming off a pit road, keeping an eye on the leaders.
Shane looks like he's going to lose the pack. Is Johnston going to lose the pack too?
It's like a bad stop there for Shane Coogan. Lost a lot of time there, but Nicholas Johnston, here comes the pack once again. That is the number 2 of Nate Schaeffer going by him for the race lead, and he is now side by side with Van de Sant for second. Oh, almost getting forced down to the apron behind him. That was Justin Miller and Rhett Nichols. Very close quarter stuff there, but they gather it up nicely.
Yeah, we're going for gold now, though, in this one. The pit stops are over. Everybody's got what they have, and we're going for the lead now. I see Gary Gotzo moving up into 4th position.
It is well and truly go time right here. Lap 58 of 75 right now. Van de Sant has gotten past Schaeffer and taken over the race lead, but Gary Gotzo up on the top line there, and Rhett Nichols in the middle of that. They're trying to make it 3 wide, and Gotzo has to tuck back in behind Sanders. Not quite getting the run he needs there, but Van de Sant on the low, leading the train on the low line. Rhett Nichols currently scored in P2. He is on the high line.
Ooh, you went really wide there. Gavin Sanders going to go inside, 3 wide with Bruno Miranda on the bottom.
Miranda, and looks like they're all dropping back a little bit. Maybe, not sure what the game plan would be from here. Of course, they are trying to sit, and they're good to go on fuel at this stage, it would seem. But I would imagine we still got time to go for it, of course. And you can make up a lot of ground really quickly here. So these guys probably just laying out their game plan, saving up the momentum for the last few laps of the race. Of course, there's really only one lap that matters at the end of the day. It's the end of lap 75.
Let's see, Chris Hill's moved it up into the 9th position. Chris Hill, I kind of know him pretty well. He is actually not an oval specialist in any way. He's a road course guy. So good to see him here into the top 10 here, nearing the end of the race. He's in this lead pack.
Very good position so far for Christopher Hill. But now Van de Sant has cleared Johnston. He takes over the race lead once again. Nicholas Johnston getting the run off the corner, looking to the outside, down the straightaway. Johnston once again leads at the end of that lap. Justin Miller has made moves. He's up to P3. Schaeffer up on the high line there, leading the train up there. Gary Godso behind him, meanwhile, as Gavin Sanders and Rhett Nichols, they're both a couple of the interested spectators right now.
We might be having one of the fastest IndyCar races ever here. You know, if we end up going green this whole way, that'll be a fast one. Gary can talk to us next week, or actually we have an off week next week, but about how fast this race was compared to historic fast races, which I believe like a Fontana race has the record, like 203 miles an hour average lap, you know, over the course with all the pit stops and everything. So.
Very true. And I remember being at Pocono Raceway in 2014 for the fastest 500-mile race ever run. It was 202 miles an hour. That race being won by Juan Pablo Montoya, driving for Team Penske.
Maybe that's the one that is the fastest one now. I know for the longest time the Fontana race had it, but you might be right that the Pocono one there.
It was certainly the fastest 500-miler. I think it eclipsed a Fontana race there before. That was like in the 190 range. I believe it was the case. I was looking at it for certain. But meanwhile, Gary Godso, look at Godso up on the top line, 3 wide.
Literally
with
inches.
Van de Sant and Johnston slingshots past both of them and zooms into the lead at the end of lap number 62.
It is
Beautiful
totally go
move.
time here. I see Chris Hill
Definitely go time.
up to 5th. Who is going to win this one? We really have no clue.
We certainly have no clue right now. The top 9 are certainly in the best spots for that position. It's Gary Godso, Alex Van de Sant, Nicholas Johnston, Justin Miller, Christopher Hill, Gavin Sanders, Rhett Nichols, Nate Schaeffer, and Bruno Miranda are that top 9. But I'm keeping an eye once more on the pack behind him, led by the pole sitter Dakota DeMake and Shane Coogan behind them. They are trading positions right now, trying to slingshot each other, and they're trying to catch up once again to that pack of cars in front of them. They were kind of similar speeds on that last lap to the leaders, but they have closed a bit compared to where they were before.
Did see Chris Hill taking the lead for a moment. I don't think that was at the line, though, but he did move up there. Van de Sant taking over for a moment, but inside line is Nicholas Johnston.
Johnston still on that low line. Christopher Hill has made a good effort. He's up to P3 right now. And now battling alongside Van de Sant for second. Van de Sant trying to get as much momentum off the corner as he possibly can. Trying to work it the way that the IRL did at the 1.5-mile tracks. Get the run off the line and maybe be ahead of the stripe. Not quite there yet for Van de Sant. The gap at the line there, 0.03 of a second between Van de Sant and Nicholas Johnston. And I'm seeing what Van de Sant is trying to do. He's trying to maintain momentum, get the launch off the corner, but not quite working in his favor at the moment. Christopher Hill down that low line will probably hold on to second place as Van de Sant and Bruno Miranda try to work that top line.
This second group, Shane Coogan and Dakota, they are definitely in the draft range now. Literally, they're going to be up with the leaders here in another probably lap or two. They're gaining big time now.
10 laps to go, and they have caught up in a massive way. The gap was 2.3 seconds last time by. This time, 1.1. This is going to be quite possibly a 14-car battle towards the end of this race. What a showing tonight by these guys.
Keeping it clean here for a significant amount of time. I get confused on how many miles. I was about to say miles, but where these are 3-mile laps as opposed to our usual 2.5 miles.
It's easier to calculate than Talladega in that case at 2.66.
You are very correct there, which I suspect maybe next season we'll be running Talladega.
And if you want drama, you'll come to a place like this. And drama and speed for certain. But Johnston holding on to the lead again. Van de Sant still working that top line. We're 3 wide.
Yeah,
multiple cars deep here. And Bruno Miranda making it 4 wide as he shoots by past both of them. Van de Sant losing track position right now as the 2 lanes in the bottom and the middle, they are making headway in a big way to catch up to that lead.
Yeah, you can see it is go time. Totally go time because we are 3x3. Whoa, we've got somebody going to the apron.
What on
that
the
is
apron there? I believe that's was
Jonathan. Yeah.
Jonathan
so, anyway.
Liberatore making a move on the apron there. I think he may have been forced down there. He's still 3 wide with Shane Coogan up on the top line there. But but my goodness, look at this. You would think this would be the opening stages of any given race at a track like this. No, this is the end of the race. Everyone here has a shot at the win. They are going to go for it as Schaeffer up on the top line, trying to get by the new race leader, and that is Bruno Miranda. And meanwhile, behind them, James Watson trying to make it 3 wide, even 4 wide once again, coming down the front straightaway.
I think we are, we're totally 4 wide now.
5
5
wide now. There it is, as you said, and Liberatore with the move through the middle. He went 5 wide, and now he's the new race leader. Amazing for Jonathan Liberatore.
So, yeah, there's still, it feels like a lot of time left here. So, wow.
We still got 7. We still got 6.5 more laps of this, folks, as we're once again 3 wide. Johnston slingshots his way past Liberatore on the low line. Miranda in the middle. Van de Sant up top. Ooh, it's a very close quarter stuff there. As now Liberatore is trying to hold on to second position there. Once again, the momentum is lost up on that top line. But here comes Liberatore again for the lead. And here comes Gavin Sanders, too, making it 3 wide once more. I don't think this is ending anytime soon, Matt.
I don't think so either. I think even at the end of this pack, like Dakota DeMade and Gary here, I think they're being patient back here still. They know that, they don't need to make their move till about 2 laps to go. But of course, gotta watch out for that.
Schaeffer now is the big winner out of that one. He gets down to the low side. Gavin Sanders does as well. Miranda up on top. Justin Miller is now the monkey in the middle there. As we work our way off of turn number 4. Schaeffer using the top line once now, trying to break the toe on Gavin Sanders to break his momentum, but it's given momentum, meanwhile, to Bruno Miranda once more.
And that is 5 laps to go here.
Oh, 4 wide again.
Miles.
Liberatore almost contact there with Johnston.
Whoa, we had James Watson really move up.
That was a close call right there. Almost gets into the front nose of Shane Coogan and the back wing of Van de Sant as they work their way past. Unfortunately, that is, I believe, Caleb Bensi down on the low line there. But 4 wide once more for the lead.
Oh,
there was some contact there, I think, with Van de Sant, the big loser there.
I think he kept it off the wall, though.
Kept it off the wall, indeed. Bruno Miranda was the guy that he made contact with there. But
Here's
now
Dakota.
look at this pack. 3 wide, 3 deep.
Dakota making his move now.
Dakota DeMeg, the pole sitter of this race. He was kind of mired in the pack for a little while, but he is very definitely in the thick of it now. We're working lap number 72. It'll be 3 laps to go at the stripe. Schaeffer having to play major defense right now, but it's so hard to at a track like this. Nicholas Johnston trying to get the run on the middle roof there. Miller is the one on the top line, and here comes, I believe that's Christopher Hill.
Yes,
in the 101, trying to make the move around Rhett Nichols, and now they are 3 wide back there again.
Gary is into the pits, so the race over for him. I don't know if he ran out of fuel or what.
Gary Godso on pit road, but still this battle has not died down in the slightest. 3 laps to go here. Schaeffer with the lead right now. Sanders tucking in behind him. Johnston trying to get the run on the top side. Rhett Nichols and Alex Van de Sant giving him the draft help he so desperately wants to get up there, but it's the draft help that everyone else desperately wants too. There is no shortage of people with a shot to win this race tonight, folks, as we're coming to 2 laps to go at the iRacing Superspeedway.
on board with Bruno Miranda. He's got a good view of this and has a really big run.
Comes four wide again. Miranda there, second from the top. Sanders tucking in behind there. They're still 4 wide behind them. Johnston led at the stripe by 1/100th of a second. Schaeffer with the lead at the moment down the back straightaway. Johnston with the big run right now, trying to stay side by side right now with Schaeffer, I should say. He is going to do so. Van de Sant trying to give him the push he needs. Here we come, folks. White flag coming into the air, hopefully, off of turn number 4.
Ooh, things are getting a little dicey here. We're
Getting chippy here. White flag in the air. Johnston leads that lap by 1/100th of a second once more. Van de Sant on the top line there. Oh, it's Christopher Hill with a big run there in the middle of the corner. They're 4 wide for the lead.
And you know people behind this group are...
Oh, that's Compton to the right behind them. That's Gavin Sanders, Justin Miller too.
But our leaders keep going. And
no caution. Johnston with the lead. He has cleared Schaeffer. Schaeffer down the low line, having to make the move. Van de Sant and Christopher Hill are your 3 front runners right now. Here comes James Watson and Rhett Nichols. Looking everywhere for the run there. Coming to the stripe off of 4. Johnston with the lead. Trying to play defense. Where is it going to be? Who's it going to be? Here comes Van de Sant.
I think it was Van de Sant.
It's Alex Van de Sant is the winner by 6/1000th of a second.
That was 6 wide there at the end.
Wow.
We had cars on the apron. I saw Dakota on the apron. So it's Van de Sant, Johnston, Hill, Nichols, Schaeffer, DeMade, Watson, and we'll try to see if we can figure out. So we made it through in green flag, see if we can figure out what happened on that accident as well there right at the end with Gavin Sanders.
Very unfortunate for Miller and Gavin Sanders, but what a race. An amazing run, caution-free the whole way, and we get 6 wide racing at the end. Alex Van de Sant, the winner out of it all. He brings it to victory lane here at iRacing Superspeedway in the fashion that you would always want to see at a track like this. What a fantastic race.
Awesome. Yeah, great run by Alex. Hey, Steven, I think we need to switch over to the booth on the other Discord, so we'll do that.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, we are in the correct booth now. Alex is burning up his engine. I think he's waiting for it to blow up. There it goes.
He doesn't need it anymore anyway.
No, he does not. Nothing like IndyCar engine leases where, they have to mileage out an engine. They get all fresh engines multiple times.
Engine leases, what's that?
Let me set up my interview here. I like to do a little slow-mo.
And we have our race winner already in the room waiting for the interview.
Let me get it. Hey, Alex, this is Matt and Steven up in the booth here. Got a copy?
I do.
Well, tell me about this race from your viewpoint.
Just for the first 2/3, it was just sitting in line, saving fuel, and then just going as long as you could so you'd get the draft from other people pitting, and then you'd just be able to run away. I almost broke the draft at the first pit stop. It was very close. If they had swap drafted, they probably still would have caught me, but it was just right on the edge. Second one was there were less people to draft off of, so it didn't work as well. But just then trying to be there at the end and set up put yourself in the right spot so you'd be able to get around off the corner. And so I kind of figured second in line in the middle, so you'd have somewhere to go up top, but then still have a run off of turn 4. And that's exactly what happened, and it worked perfectly. It looks like I kind of set off a big one on the last lap. I think it's close. I think I held my line, but and there's a bit of netcode, a bit of netcode maybe, but so sorry about that if I'm found to be at fault, but that was a blast. I hate this kind of racing, but it's fun in moderation.
That's what
I enjoyed myself tonight.
Yeah, you made it 29 laps, I think it was, on that first stint. We saw, I think Dakota had to pit at lap 22, and you made it 29 laps, so that was a big
Yep.
fuel save. And then you came out and you were in the lead basically after all of that, so that was definitely the right choice. And then I think you kind of just let everybody kind of go by and save some more fuel, and then just kept yourself clean until the end. But everybody predicted, I think you said it in chat. You were like, there's going to be 5 cautions, and we did not have a single caution. So good on the drivers here in the league. I don't even think we came too close to a caution. Like over in VOR, we ran Daytona, and there were certainly some crashes in that race, but we did not have a caution. I don't think there were really.
Oh, there were some hairy moments there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No car spinning off or anything like that, like we had in Daytona and VOR. So
yeah, it was really, really clean, at least in front of me, from what I could see. There was a little complaining. I didn't see any big moments, but it's so hard to see anything way up in front of you. So, overall, a really clean race, a lot of respect given, and then like just enough room at the end for everybody. So, yeah, that was good.
So, if you were making the schedule for next season, which super speedway would you put on the schedule?
None of them.
Tell us how you really feel. Amazing coming from the race winner at one of these.
Well, he knows it the best.
This is
true.
True.
Well, any final thank yous, Alex? That kind of stuff, sponsors, shout outs. But yeah, great win.
Shout out to my usual sponsors, lmcgear.com, Happy Trails Chili Company, all the folks at Powerslide Motorsports. This is actually my last race this season. I've got other conflicts starting up at this as we get into February. So,
what a way to go out then.
Yeah, no, it's been a fun 4 races. Glad to get a win in them and a couple podiums. So, really proud of how I drove. It's a great league. It's a lot of really good people here, and hopefully I can make a return at some point.
Sounds good. Well, good luck, and we'll see you back sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
We also have Christopher Hill and Nicholas Johnston down in the interview room. And we're also joined here, too, by our old friend Gary Godso.
Yep. Let's get the podium first, and then you can hear my assessment.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we got Nicholas Johnston here in P2. Nicholas, it's Steven and Matt and Gary as well up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, how's it going?
Man, that was it was certainly the kind of racing I think we all came to expect here, but those last laps in particular, going 4 wide on multiple occasions, run me through your thought process on that one. It was a very close race between you and Van de Sande coming to the checkers. Run us through what was going through your mind through that one.
Well, I told y'all last week if I come out of here with 4 tires and 2 wings, I'll be happy. And I did. So that's good. But really, the majority of the race was fuel saving. And I think that's why a lot of the middle part of the race probably wasn't the most exciting in the world, because no one really wanted to lead. It was all saving fuel to have the shortest stop at the end. And actually, some guys needed to fuel save that last stint even. So just making sure you're able to go flat out the whole time and race for it is just basically my whole race strategy. There towards the end, I was thinking, because I don't know, purple and white car, can't tell you who it was, but
Will Weisford. Will.
Maybe, okay, it was Will. So I was able to draft up on him and pass him by the line every time when we were swapping back and forth. So I was like, okay, if I can keep someone in front of me and just continuously do that, it should be easy peasy. But then we ended up not clearing Nate one time, and we were 2x2 with no one really getting runs, and I'd still beat him to the line every time. So I still felt good. Like, okay, I can just chill here, beat him to the line every time, and eventually, the race will be over and that'll be it. But then they started wrecking behind us. I think they're on the last lap, and Nate dropped back a little bit, and I was forced down to the bottom. And I actually cleared Alex off of 4, but I didn't want to get turned, so I kind of forced him up and came back down, and it was just, I needed 6 more thousandths, I guess.
That's what it was. 600 thousandths, I think, is what it actually was. But
I see 6 thousandths.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, not quite that one extra digit there, but I mean, but with the whole fuel saving thing, we knew that was going to be a thing, especially when we saw Dakota DeMague pitting on that first stint on lap 22. If it were left to your own devices and you were just going for it at the end, how much fuel were you able to get there?
As far as how far I could go, just flat out,
Yeah, just flat out.
I'd say probably 22, 23 laps. I think I
Wow,
pushed
so
stints to like 29, 30 laps. I guess see when I pitted the first time.
Yeah, Alex made it to lap 29. I'm not sure if you pit on the same lap as him or not, but he certainly made it really far. But yeah, hey, any shout outs, anything like that? You're running for this Infinity team. I know we don't have teams over here in the RIL, but I know they've got you over in the FIS. Any other shout outs you want to give out?
I just want to shout out to you guys for putting on this broadcast and give some people to watch, a link to give to my friends and stuff. I appreciate that. The RIL, Revolution Indie League, and Schaeffer's for sponsoring the series. It's always fun racing here. I'm having a little bit better luck over here than I have at FIS, so I'll stick over here a little bit more. And obviously the guys over at Team Infinite, they do a really, really great job working together, and they're all learning and getting better. And anyone watching out there, Dave or my girlfriend, thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time.
All right, great, Ron, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. I think it's Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks.
Perfect. See you then.
See ya.
Mm-hmm. And we also have Christopher Hill up here too. Christopher Hill in P3. It's Steven, Matt, and Gary up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Wow. We're still kind of recovering from that awesome finish there at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly.
Did you expect you to be in the position you were at the end of this race?
I mean, I hope to be somewhere in that top pack and maybe even the top 5 or something. But like coming to the last lap, I felt like I made my move a little too early there, and then I was just like, well, I'm going to do the best I can and hope I don't get drafted by like the whole field, because kind of felt like a sitting duck there, and yeah, somehow ended up. I think I was shocked. I thought I was going to be further back, and then looking at the finish, it's like, what, 8 people in a 10th? So that's pretty gnarly, I definitely want to watch the replay on that and see how many wide we were coming across the line, but it must have been at least 10, right?
It was 6, I believe. But
close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. So.
Well, I said it during the broadcast, Christopher. This isn't your forte, oval racing. You're a road course specialist out here, and so you're learning this whole oval racing thing and pack racing. You seemed like you learned, the pack racing part of it pretty well here tonight, and kind of the whole strategy involved with all that. But tell me your thoughts, like coming from road course stuff to something like this.
It's one of those things that seems so simple from the outside, it's like stay flat out and go left, right? But yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of things. Mainly it's been like settings stuff that I'm starting to learn, like the weight jacker stuff and this kind of stuff that has been a little different. And then strategy wise, that's also been a little different too, because I try to run a road course strategy and then get caught out by a caution or something like that, and so it's definitely been a learning curve, and there's been some really nice guys in the league that have been helping, giving me some pointers in the right direction on what settings to go with and kind of what strategies work and that kind of stuff. So that's helped a bunch, and made it a little bit easier to be competitive. So I'm happy because this is my first win on an oval, or not win, my first finish on an oval that has actually it feels like a win in some ways, but first finish on an oval that's that I actually made it to the end without doing something stupid. So I'll take that and hopefully can continue the rest of the season with some at least some decent finishes in the ovals, and then see if we can't fight back a little bit more on the road courses. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I think the other key thing that oval racing requires that's just slightly different perspective versus road racing is this level of patience that you have to have for just things to kind of unfold in the race, that like you said, you can't always go for first because you got to save some fuel and that whole thing. So it's learning that is a big part of it as well.
For sure, it's a different mindset, and
yeah.
It's as a lot of things, you watch them done well from the outside and just like, I could do that, and then as you do it more, you're like, okay, there's something more to this. So I'm enjoying the learning and adding to the skill sets and hoping I can continue to get a little closer to the front each one of these races and keep fighting for it. So it's been a lot of fun, kind of picking it up and learning new skills. So
yep. Well, any shout outs, sponsors, that kind of thing? I know you got that precision racing instruction on the side of the car.
Yeah, I always gotta mention it. So that's my my company. I'm a professional driving instructor by trade. So I work full time with a BMW school, and then I also have precision racing instruction, which is basically coaching people either in their own cars or doing some stuff on the sim. With the GT cars, I've been doing a bunch with some of the guys over in the BMW League, which has been awesome, and having fun watching those guys improve and stuff. But primarily I work in the real world, but I also do a bunch on the sim these days. It's actually picking up a lot more than I expected, which is super cool. And I got about 27 years of racing experience, something that range, and not too far behind that on the coaching side of it. So if anybody's looking for a little help learning, go faster, then reach out to me either through Facebook, Instagram, or if you're on Discord, you can hit me up there too. So
awesome. Well, great run here. A couple of weeks we're doing Red Bull, and then we're probably back to some more ovals and that kind of thing. So we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, Gary, let us know your thoughts on this one. You probably had some time to calm down, and you probably smiled a little bit with Chris Hill. It sounds like he's respecting the oval racing, which you always like to hear, I'm sure, from a road racer.
Yeah, for sure. Started them back strategically. Wanted to do that. Ran with some kind of teammates. But I'm sorry. I've never raced with some of these guys before, and Jonathan Libator and Tucker were absolute weapons out there trying to get around them. I got side-checked one time by either Tucker or Libator in one of the turns. And it was just hold your line. That's all you have to do is hold your line. And there's no reason for any of that. And when I got past them, like, great, they're behind me. But then, towards the end, I started Libator coming back up. I'm like, well, here we go again. So I think he needs to learn a little bit more how to pack race on this type of speedway and holding your line. I mean, I was scared crapless around him multiple times. And I actually got on the radio. I'm probably going to get a penalty for it because I cussed on the radio because he about came up and got me a one time. In fact, I got a 0x. So there was some type of contact there. But I was banking on a caution. It just never happened. I got the car up front. My car was fast all day long. It was slippery. I could hold the bottom. No one could pass me up top. And when I got up front, that was a good time. I just got a massive run up there, and everyone's saving, and I started chanting the charge, moving up to the front, and then I just kind of stormed by everybody, and I got a chance. But I got a chance to give Schaefer some screen time. So I want to thank them for sponsoring the league. I want to thank Christopher Kresge for allowing me to run the Schaefer's car for these two races this season. Of course, race first coverage is always the best. I'm sure you guys had a fun time. Was banking on a caution, never got it. I was going to be 5 laps short at first. I managed to get it down to like 2 or 3, and then I still had to come in and I had to do a splash and go. But other than that, still managed to finish in the lead lap. So both my races that I raced this year in the car and for the league, both finishes run a lead lap, and I'm happy about that too. But there were some adventure points in the race. I don't know what you guys saw, but there were some for me, and I'm 75 laps and no caution. I'm surprised, but that's the second time this year I've been in a pack race and we've had no caution. So that is also saying a lot about a lot of these guys' patience too.
Yeah, I don't think I never expected this one to go caution free. I thought. I mean, we did come close. We saw what I think Steven and I would say we saw was a lot of door banging in this race. So we came close, but I don't think we came as close. Like you were in the Velocity Online Daytona race, Gary, and there were certainly some things that should have been cautions in that race.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one, I don't think there was anything that should have been a caution. There was
No.
calls.
Yeah.
But nobody nobody crashed and the caution didn't come out like we had over in VOR. So, heck of a race by these guys here, because I really did not expect it coming into this one. So credit to Kresge and company for getting these guys under control. Maybe not everybody, Gary, but everybody kept their cars pointed in the pointy position for the moment.
You know, when I was up there with Alex and Nick and Christopher, Nate sometimes was a little dangerous because he would get these massive runs and he would just send it. and you see this green missile coming up through the in your rear view, and it's like, dude, just settle down a little bit. But he would just say, but racing against Alex and Nick and Chris Hill. Of course, we got Dakota up there. I got one of my teammates, Gavin, Shane, Bruno Miranda, James Watson. I mean, some of these guys I'm really, really comfortable around, and they did a great job. Some of these guys that I don't know that didn't race, I mean, they don't have much of a reputation, but the so far what I know about them, I don't want to race near them again. But the league did a good job, and if the league wants to schedule another one of these, I would just keep preaching to a lot of these folks, patience, hold your lines, start practicing holding lines and that type of thing, and it will be probably a lot more safe. But that's just a great call by the league to put this on the schedule, and maybe we'll see a Daytona or Talladega next season. I don't know, but I know Alex doesn't want to see another one. But if it is, I'll see if I can run the Schaefer's car for that race as well.
Yeah, I think we will see these kind of races again. At least, we're not going to do it multiple times this season, but I think the powers that be anyway, I think they'll probably put Daytona or Talladega. I'm leaning towards Talladega. We'll see what happens. But
Daytona's a bit narrow. And you want to go Talladega, where if you do get into a 3-wide scenario, it's like threading the needle. But I would take, you with a little discipline, obviously we saw it with the Velocity Online Racing League race there. You could do also Daytona as well, but just a little patience and discipline, that's all. And I'm also going to say just horrible luck to Caleb. Just horrible freaking luck. I feel painfully sorry for it, because he had something happen to him that happened actually to me at the VOR Daytona race, where he between sessions it locked up on him and he didn't know. And then he had to load back in, and by the time he loaded back in, he was expecting a caution the whole time to get back up with us, and never did. And it's just a horrible way to suffer losing points. Just not even your fault. Not even your fault.
I'm surprised he stuck around.
we were telling him that never know when the caution would come, and there were times where we thought the caution would come. I think right before I pitted, a couple laps before I pitted, I think I don't know who it was, but
and Justin Miller, I think, had a big moment that
and they were not happy about it over the radio.
Coogan got side-checked, and then I think maybe even Alex got into the wall and rubbed it a little bit. So there were moments, but just never happened. So, good job too. And, congrats to Alex. I knew when I followed him and when I was around him, I was going to the front and I was safe. Nick Johnson, I knew I followed him. He was fast. Christopher Hill, I just know that he's a pro. So those guys deserve it. And I really enjoyed running with those guys. And I'll do it again, over and over again on these super speedways, because they are great racers.
All right. Well, I think we're probably about done here for tonight.
Yeah.
Congrats to Alex Van de Sant winning. It sounds like his final race of the season. Nick Johnston, P2, Chris Hill, P3. I think there's going to be championship implications here, though, for Caleb. I think Schaeffer is probably going to take over that lead. I'll have to look at it. He's probably got it up. Although, actually, I think Kresge is probably out, so it might not be updated quite yet. But we'll get a look at that and be ready to go. We're going to be off next week, but we'll be back 2 weeks' time for Red Bull Ring. First time running that here in the RIL. Well, I can't rely on you to do our outro, Gary. But since you're probably
I think I can do it. I got the script here, so
you want to do it?
You do it. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from and it still says Long Beach because I haven't done my script yet for this one. But my podium from the iRacing Superspeedway is Alex Van de Sant survives. Nicholas Johnson P2. Christopher Hill, road ace, comes through on the oval in P3. Join Race First again next Wednesday as we come to you from Red Bull, or actually 2 weeks from now, in Red Bull Ring for round 9 of the Revolution IndyCar League Schaefer's IndyCar Series. That's next 2 Wednesdays from now, 7:50 Eastern Time again, 7:50 Eastern Time on YouTube.com/RaceFirst. Hope everyone. I'll just skip this part, but I just hope everyone clicks the thumbs up button and hit the bell and subscribe. And while you're at it, to catch continuing coverage of the official iRacing Fixed IndyCar Series. That's me and Steven on Monday nights. And then, of course, exclusive coverage of the Midwest Kidney Warriors Formula Indy Series on Tuesday evenings at approximately 8:45 Eastern. So join Race First every week for the best fixed IndyCar road and oval racing coverage right here on youtube.com/RaceFirst. So for business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow me, Gary Godso, on Twitter at Gary Godso. So for Stephen Larkamp, so for Matt Houston, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary saying good night. I survived. And to all the men and women serving in the military as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come on safe. Thanks for watching. Catch us next week for the next race of the Revolution IndyCar League Schaefer's IndyCar Series. Good night.
Ever since I've switched to Schaefer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaefer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaefer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil, having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaefer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.